Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to David at Go Hobbies. Right, I'm particularly annoyed. Why am I annoyed? Because China is supporting Russia, and it is in with India, Pakistan, and also it is with North Korea, Iran, and Russia. So the Chinese is what we could class as an adversary. And because China has investments in this country, I'll read reel some off to you. Green King, Heathrow Airport, Aston Martin, Simon Group, London International Taxis, I believe it is, Hinkley Point. I think it was Bradwell as well. Bradwell, I can't remember what. I know it's Bradwell Nuclear Power Station. But that's just a few of the companies that are actually owned by Chinese companies and the Chinese possible government. What is absolutely astounding is the British government is allowing this to happen. We all know about British Steel, but did you know they own Scunthorpe Steel as well? And you think to yourself, have you ever seen how big Scunthorpe is? It's a massive place. I went to that place. I had to do an induction, right? And I found out there's nearly 100 miles of roads in that plant. That's a long way, right? And you think to yourself, the Chinese own Scunthorpe Steel. The Chinese was running British Steel. It is absolutely mind-boggling. The Chinese reach into the UK's infrastructure, manufacturing sectors, and controlling. Here's a question for you. How much influence does the Chinese have over the British government? That's an interesting thought. So what did Starmer do? He went to the Chinese and said, can we have some investment or a loan or whatever it was? Yes, you can have a loan. What was it? Nearly 900 odd million, nearly £1 billion, I think it was. Payable back over 130 odd years, was it? So like 143 years, whatever it was. We know that the government is stark raving bloody mad because they're siding up with the adversary. They're siding up with the enemy. And we've got businesses in the UK. I'll leave a link to my Google search so you can put that into Google search and search yourself and see some of the companies that are actually run and owned by the Chinese. I am not saying every Chinese company is a bad thing, but I certainly is not thinking it is a good thing, to say the least. It makes you wonder how of an influence, as I said, it is influencing the British government. But I think it's a national security threat because the Chinese involvement in the British industries and key infrastructure. It can't be right to think that they're dabbling with our steelworks, Aston Martin, London International Taxis that make electric taxis. They own these companies, and like British Heathrow Airport, they've got a stake in that. And this is just what's come to light. If you look at this, sorry about the dog whining. He wants to come in here, and I'm not going to let him. So I'm not being a meanie. Um, but I get when companies want to invest in a country to bring wealth and prosperity, but you've got to look at the security of the country and what these countries will do to. I'll sum it up in a simple word. I don't trust them. I don't trust them. I never have done, and I never will do. I've said things in the past that I regret saying about the Chinese. And I don't trust them, and I don't think I ever will now because they're showing their true colours. Excuse me. But what gets me is this: how naive, how stupid, and how um, they've put the what's the word I'm looking for? Short-term gains for long-term profits ahead of sensibility, because no one in their right minds would allow the Chinese into this country if we knew now what we knew then. But we don't have a crystal ball, do we? Hindsight is a wonderful thing. But I had a feeling China's long-term goals was not going to be good. I could see that how much they were building up as a global manufacturer, and then we got to a point. Now they've got such a powerful stake over everyone's country, a controlling factor, where the Chinese are in virtually every country in the world. And it just makes you wonder how they're affecting our national security and a threat to this country. No, we're not at war with them yet. But if they go into Taiwan, things might be a different story. Bear with. And the way I see it is this: we need to highlight the lack of government control and common sense and the threats to national security that these countries pose to the English country. England, bear with, sorry about that, doggies again. But as I was saying, I think with all these companies owned by China and the potential risk of national security, the way I see it is this, right? How do we know that the Chinese are not putting software into computers or equipment that manufacture washing machines or TVs or whatever it may be, they're manufacturing? Who's not to say that they're possibly putting programs, algorithms into devices that can monitor, eavesdrop, send information back to China, and possibly become a security threat to the UK? And who's to say that, these Chinese products potentially could be damaging our security through our naivety to get the cheapest products? Look at brands that the Chinese do and manufacture in the UK. You cannot trust the Chinese. You can't trust the Russians. People need to wake up and see reality. We're living in a world that that by any means they will corrupt, and it is unsafe And our government is letting us down by allowing this to happen. What do you think? Am I over exaggerating the situation? Am I over worrying? I wouldn't say I'm worried about it, but I'm concerned. But I do feel that it's a national security threat to the British country, and nothing's getting done. Nothing's getting done about it at all. Have a say. Let me know what you think. Please subscribe to the channel because it helps the channel grow and also puts these type of videos out to people that are interested in it. Thank you now. Take care. We'll see you soon.